So welcome or welcome back to Be Tide, and man, finally this is happening. Playfab plus EOS. Now this thing has taken over my 10 days of work, and I just left so many freelance projects just to finish this thing up. But finally we are at a very good stage. And uh sorry for the very long video, but there is a reason for the long video. As you already see the preview on the screen, we can now control using Playfab. We have the sessions on the Playfab, and everything is working. We have auto scaling and everything that you wanted, but the main thing is there are a lot of things to fix. So the Playfab video, like the dedicated server for Playfab video, was about an hour long, and the EOS videos are about an hour long. So comparing to that, like this video is a bit long, and I have tried not to skip over bug fixes. Like if I'm fixing something, I have not skipped over it. I have increased the speed at a few points in the video because I don't think that is much of necessary to show. But because when I made the EOS series, users asked me not to skip over bug fixes, which I do behind the scenes. So I have tried not to remove that part, and I hope this video like helps you and just helps you. Two more things. Also, I'm sorry not able to speak that much because like just 10 days of work finally comes to an end, and I'm just so happy. Anyways, okay. Two more things. We have a few errors that we will have be fixing in the video, which I would tell you beforehand so that you know what happens, like if I'm not like saying something and I'm doing on screen. So firstly, EOS does not pass on the port info to you whenever you create a session on Playfab. So like if an EOS session is created on a Playfab machine, it will pass you the port 7777, which is not correct. So you will have to pass it as an attribute, which you will see we fix in the video, which is again a lengthy part. And then the second issue is EOS does not, like the Playfab does not have the correct SSL communication licenses. So we will have to fix that because if we don't do that, Playfab will not be able to contact EOS servers, and the session creation will fail. And thirdly, if you at any point in the video find any problem, just come out to at Discord or just comment out in the description. We will help you for sure. And yeah, and if this video helps, please like, share. No, don't share. Like whom will you share with? Most of the developers are single. Anyways, you can just comment out and like, subscribe, and join us on Patreon. The project files are already up on Patreon. And thank you. Okay, so welcome back to the screen, and now we will just start. So we have this EOS tutorial project already here. That's the same that we like finished with the last video, and Unreal Engine 5.1.1 released last night, I believe. So let's just switch to the newer version. I will just go to show more options, switch, and we will switch to source build at 5.1, and okay. Okay, that is successful. Now the next thing is we require the Playfab plugins because we are going to use the auto scaling and every other feature of Playfab. That's why we need the Playfab plugin. So the first Playfab plugin is the Playfab Marketplace plugin. You can just install it to the 5.1 launcher version, and then just go to Epic Games UE 5.1 engine plugins, and then Marketplace, and copy the Playfab SDK. And then you will have to paste it in your project, but we will have to make a new folder for that, and check the spelling. That should be plugins, and paste it here. One more thing that we require is the GSDK plugin. So for getting GSDK, we will have to get I believe I shared it on our website. Let me just open a new. Yeah, I will just open the GSDK. I have downloaded it. Yeah. So I got it. This is the Playfab GSDK. It's available on our website. So we will just copy this and paste it in the plugin section. So SDK basically has all the logging and all the it has all the blueprint nodes, and GSDK is for the server binary. So like when we upload the server, when we upload the built server on the website, this will communicate with the servers. So now you can just go and right click this, generate Visual Studio files. Okay, so the project is now open. Let's just dismiss this and update this. And I don't think anything else has to be done. Now you have the updated project. So let's go to the game instance. And now we need to make changes. Okay, that's not very good looking. And I believe we do not require this logic as it's not connected. So we can just remove this. Okay, this looks better then. And we will just make this timer 2 seconds. And we can remove this is server and make a dedicated server check. And next what we need to do is we will just drag this thing up and we will write the logic which we require for the server. Let me just open up this thing and just a second, give me a minute. Hmm. So the first thing that we require is the default port. This is something that I forget every time. And then what we need to do is we need to register GSTK shutdown, make a custom event on GSTK shutdown, and we can just call a quit game function. Next what we need is we will register GSTK health check delegate, make a custom event for that, or just make a event dispatcher because this should always be true. Create a matching function and set this to true and select this and make some space. Hmm. So after the health check is done, we will register the maintenance part. Uh, on GSDK maintenance. I hope the spelling is not wrong, but okay. And then we will register server active delegate on GSDK server active. Then we will register that the players are ready. Register GSTK players ready for players. Ready for players. And the last is we will just search for ready for players. Now this will not have much changes on the normal functionality of the game, I believe. US GSTK name. This was not provided MPS build port. Okay, this will have. We will just have to restart the project. So what we can do is for the first run, we will uh, take this thing out and untick it and add it here. If this is true, then. And we will also make a sequence so that on this thing, other part of the code is not dependent. We will just make a sequence and drag this part here. Now this thing is done. Now we will have to like communicate to the Playfab website through the game. Now this thing should not happen now, like this crashing should not happen. Yeah, it will not crash now. So now this game requires to be communicate, like the client requires to communicate with the Playfab website to get the server details or things like that, and that won't be possible if the user is not authenticated. But now we, as you already know, we are authenticating with uh, what we call EOS. So let's work on that then. Now in this branch, just get out a branch, and here we will get the player username. So it is a EOS function. So in the start of the game, let's make a print, and let's check what is the username the player prints. So you see it's an empty string. There's nothing that gets printed out. So for more quality check, can we make a print string of hello? You see hello gets printed, but the username is empty. That's what I wanted to tell you. So if it's empty, we will just check, uh, remove the print string, just check if it is empty, and if it is empty, that means the user has not logged in using EOS. Oh, we also have is logged in, right? Yeah, is player logged in, so we can use this thing directly. So if the player is logged in, that if it comes out to true, then we will search for login with custom ID. Now this is a Playfab client authentication method, so just search for this. This will happen in the backend, so user does not need to do anything. It will be like just a seconds process, and make it create account to be true. So if the custom ID is not found, it will create an account for it. Now the custom ID should be the username of the EOS account. So get the username, get player username, and pass it as the custom ID. So nothing else needs to be touched, so I will just leave it like that. And on failure, let's make a new event, a new create matching function, and we can name this failure event, and we can break that out and print out the error message. And on success, we will again create a matching function. Okay, let's create a custom event on Playfab login success. We will bind it to the player's matchmaking button. But before doing that, we also need to do one more thing. That's the last step. We will search for set Playfab settings. Now this Playfab set title ID is the ID that is available on our website. So let's open up the Playfab website. Let me just open it up. Okay. So we have this thing. We have two games, but let's add a new title so that new users can know how we did that. And we can name this EOS tutorial and create title. So we have this EOS tutorial, and here we have this title ID. You can just copy this here from here, or you can just go to the dashboard. You will find in the EOS tutorial the ID is here also. So you can just copy any of this and you can paste it here. And nothing else is required as of now. Let's check if it works. We will just play oh sorry, we need to play as a standalone, and we need to go to the editor preferences. Then in the plain as standalone, additional launch would be add a log to that, and now play. Oh, nice, that was very quick. Yeah, and log in with EOS. So this thing should open up pretty quick. Please don't ask me to log in again, and allow. Login success. Beta ID Studio. Now let's open up the Playfab's website and go to players and search. Okay, it does not find any player out. So something is not correct. Oh, okay. Now in the start, this thing only works in the start, but what if the user has not logged in till then? So we will just add a delay of 1 second and retry after every 1 second until the user logs in. I know there can be better methods for this, but that's what I am like currently trying. Okay, now log in with the US, continue to app, allow, and auth generated response. Okay, so the playfab response is okay. That means the login is successful. Login success. So we can just go to our playfab's website and now just search for any update in the player list, and we can just wait for that. And yeah, you can now see the data has been updated. Development data has been updated, and just let's reload, although this thing is not getting updated. And we have a new player here. uh let's check for the playfab ID, and we have a custom beta id studios ID. I know it won't show up with our different other types of IDs like Epic ID. We cannot log in with that directly, but when we have the username, we can use that. So this works now. So we have the players, and we also have this login thing. Now what we need to do is we need to go to our code. Now we need to make changes to our EOS code that we wrote. So let's go to the EOS game instance, and we will have to declare a dynamic ID. Now what we are going to basically do is let's just close everything and just open the game instance.cpp. What we are going to do is when we find a session, basically we have this thing where uh, yeah. So when we find a session and the find session is completed, we have this thing where we check if it was successful or not. And if it was successful, we just join the session as the main session. And if it was not found, we will just say the server was not found, like this. Now, the thing with this is we are creating an EOS session if the server was not found, and then the client becomes the server. But we are using dedicated server, so we do not want to do this. We want to remove this code completely, and like this create EOS session thing from here and also from here. And at this point, when the no EOS session is found on the website, we will ask Playfab to create a new server, and like to run a new server and get us a Playfab ID. I hope you get what I mean. So we are going to create a binding from here. So we can just go to the EOS game.cpp and declare a declare dynamic delegate, sorry, multicast delegate. And we do not require any parameter. We will just say f server required. And then we will just go down here to delegate files. We will just add a u property, blueprint assignable. Again, the category should be EOS delegates, and this should be this should be F server required and Playfab server required. Now you can just go to here, and the place where we have this thing, yeah, on find session completed. We will, when the server is not found, we will remove this create EOS session. We will just call uh, Playfab server required dot broadcast. And same way here, when the server is not found, we will just search for Playfab server required dot broadcast. Now, one more thing that we require, like that's required to be changed, is the create EOS session. Now, in the create EOS session, while testing, if you remember, we made it to false for the LAN server. So we will just make it to be the like to be equal to the server's value, to be this values like equal. And B's LAN server is already equal. Number of layers is already correct. And because we are not going to use lobbies for the dedicated servers, as you know already know, we are going to use sessions. We will make this false, and this also as false. Should advertise true, everything is correct. Yeah. And we will also check the find session logic. Okay, we are searching for lobbies, so we will make this to false, as we want sessions to come up. I hope you have already seen the videos, so you already know what we are doing here. But yeah, this thing is correct. Now we can just close the editor. Everything is saved, and we will just restart. Okay, that worked. And here we already have the create dedicated server, and nice. Now what we will do is, when this is done, we will just assign, I forgot one thing. No, okay, it's correct. Assign Playfab server required, and we will just use this. So now this function will be running whenever, like, this function will tell us that we require an server. So when this happens, we will uh, execute a cloud script, and this cloud script function will have the like the functionality to start dedicated servers. So let's make a request, and in the function name you can give this start new server. In the failure event, okay, just remember to take this generate play stream event, and selection will be live. And on the failure event you can pass event dispatcher, and you can select the failure event. And on success you can just make uh, server start successful. Now if the server start was successful, just add a delay of 3 seconds. Now this is the time where you want to show a loading screen to the user. And in place of this, you can just show a loading screen, and you can now again find sessions and join. This is the custom blueprint that we made. Now go back to your widget that currently uses the find session logic, or let it be, because this is the function that is already getting called. So yeah, okay. Now let's go to the Playfab website again, and automation and revisions. Although revisions is legacy now, but it can still be used, like is getting used for pretty much everything. So I will have to get the code from my other project. So let's go to the automation. This is some another project of my game. That's the one that I was using to try out things. I will provide the code in the description, so don't worry for that. And we have this function, request servers. So just let's copy this. You can copy it from the description below, and let's paste it on the top. Let's remove this thing and paste it on the top. So what this does is it generates a random part, like a random ID for the server. So if you don't know, the servers have a ID. So let me just show you. So multiplayer. Now this is something that like have spent a lot of time already on. So when we have a server that when we request a new server, it has a session ID. Now this session ID can be given by Playfab team, or you can just generate it like this. So we generated it. So like it generation part was a little bit complex, but we finally did it. And the build id, we will currently change this build id as we have not uploaded our source build, so that's why it's something that my build id was. So don't worry for that, we will change that. And the session id is the generated id, and the preferred region is east us. If you have some other region, you can just put this the preferred region. That's not the region that it will force on it, but it would be preferred. So just save this as revision 2. Let's just check the server name. It was start new server. So we can just, or we can just copy this and we can deploy this now and paste in this function name as request servers. After this is done, let's just uh, package the Windows build for this. Select the Windows build. One more thing, that you will have to select the map correctly, the server default map. Although that would like have a client level part, but you will still need to select that correctly. Now copy, make a development and EOS tutorial server package. Let's add a new folder for packaging and then the server, and just package the server. Till then we can just go to the EOS website. No file chosen, cancel. Okay, it's already uploaded. Let's go to multiplayer and enable multiplayer servers. This process is usually a little bit longer than normal, but it should come up very quick. Till then, I just noticed that we have some multiplayer servers running on, and I am paying for that. Like, I don't remember if it is my region has some money left. Okay, I have some free. Nice, nice. I thought I would be gone again. Okay, so this page is now open. Let's go back. So we can just press on this new build. We like the build is currently. Let me can close this. Currently getting built, but let's set up the different things. Till then we will just set this EOS tutorial 1, and virtual machine is some 4 core machine, I believe, and I can just set this to servers per machine to 2. And virtual metrics, yes, I want them. and start command is the command that we are going to get. But let's add a region, and this should be an East US region. The max servers can be 2. The remaining amount is like the number of cores plus things like that. You can calculate, like this is the given number. I will make the standby server to 1. Now the game port should be the first one, 777 and UDP. Next should be game port 2 and set this to 7777 TCP. And let's just to wait for the server to get packed, and we will be back. Okay, so now the server is ready. And if we check the packaging for the server, we have the file here, Windows Server, and we can just right click and compress them to a zip file. Okay, so the server has now been packed. You can just go to the Playfab's website and drag this out here. Then go to EOS tutorial folder, um, binaries, Win64, and you will have this EOS tutorial.exe. This will be the server exe that the server should be running up. So let's choose any of these things. Now you can see this is the start. In the start command, we have this log auth type device ID. This is required for the server, and you can just open that from the let me just open that. So in this video, for dedicated server, we have this function to open up the server. So you can just copy this from the part here, server log auth type auth login auth token, and then just put here. And in the start command, this thing is given by the Playfab. When this upload is completed, you will notice this C assets folder here. The rest of this comes from the folder path. So just open up your folders, Win64 folder like this, and then just copy the part here. Copy this and replace this in here, and the exe file should be okay. That's correct. So this is the log command for us. As again, this part comes from this thing, EOS tutorial binaries folder. You do not need to require the Win64 server folder, as this part gets like extracted out of it, and it gets extracted in the C assets folder. So it will just take 2 minutes to upload the server. Okay, so the upload got finished, and now we can just directly add the build, because rest everything was already correctly set. And currently this is on the state of initialization, but just in a second this should start deploying, and the servers should come up here. So I have to wait for 5 to 10 minutes to get the servers from the initialized state to the deployed state. And if this state stay on the status of pending heartbeat ever, like if you go to the server section and you find your servers on the state of pending heartbeat for a very long time, that means something wrong is something is purely wrong in the server. So okay, we got the servers on standby, so that works. Now let's try to see if things are correctly going on. Let's open up the dev portal also. That would be something that we require. Hmm, Dev portal, Epic Games. Again and again, forgot the link. and matchmaking. So currently there are 0 sessions. Let's open up this thing and let's do one more thing. In the BP game instance, we will, when we execute this thing, let's make a print here. Server start request success, and we will also make a print here. Server request sent. Let's hope that this works. Let's play this. Now we will log in with EOS. So remember there are 0 sessions as of now. Allow. And this. So we have now a session and we will just find the session. Let's open up the log. Server not found. Oh, okay. We forgot one thing. In this EOS thing, we need to go to the regions and copy this ID. Go back to multiplayer. Sorry, automation, revisions, and remove this build ID with the one we just copied, like this, and save as revision 3 and deploys this revision. Now this thing should work. We will again go back, start a new one, and we will just log in with EOS as usual. We usually do. Uh, continue to app, allow, and then we will just, let's wait here. Yeah, now we can just find session and let's check. So it says server not found, request sent. Let's check for an update. Server status okay, build ID, start request success. Okay, that means the server has now being started. Let's refresh this page and check if any server has came up. It will take 2 seconds to start a new server for US. Uh, let's check the revision matchmaking also. Multiplayer, 2 active servers. So the server got active. That means that is working. That side is working well. But the EOS side is not working. I believe the EOS server is not getting into this stage. Let's check the project settings. Go to online subsystem EOS. Oh, the default artifact name is client artifact, and that's the issue. Oops, a very small mistake by me, but let's stop the server then. Let's just stop this because this will go on till we can just go back to our EOS multiplayer, and we can just delete this. We will stop the servers for now. We have to update the servers. So remember, this should not be client artifact. This should be server artifact because we are running a server. So let's copy the server artifact, copy and paste. That's the only change that we require to do. Although we can do that from the console command, but that would be the same thing. So not something that. Now let's wait again. This should be very quick, a minute for sure. Okay, that worked. So let's go back to our Open Show in Explorer. Uh, package server. Let's make send to the zip file. Oh, sorry, 7-zip, and add to Windows server.zip. Now let's go back to the Playfab website, add a new build. Build name would be EOS tutorial 2 because this is the second trial for, let's add two machines. Metrics would be there. Start command would be exactly like older, so we don't need to do much changes there. And we will upload the zip file as soon as the zip file is ready. We will add a region for East US, two servers, two standby. Game port should be game port, and port name should be 77777, and the game port 2 should be game port 2. This should again be 77777 and TCP. So let's now wait. One more thing that we forgot to do, let's just cancel this. Open up your session level. Let's go to our third person. Sorry, blueprints, no, maps and main session map. Open the logic for this and then open up your EOS game instance, and you will go to the EOS game instance dot mode dot h dot sorry game mode dot cpp, game mode dot cpp, and remove this logic. uh, I don't think this works anymore, so that's why, and this will create issues if we don't do that. So just remove this and just remove, close this and restart, and now pack a new server copy. Sorry for that, but yeah, we will have to remove this because usually servers do not have a unique ID, valid unique ID, and that's why it was crashing a lot of times. So it's better to not keep it, and then just pack the server ID. Now the server is packed. Let's go back to our Windows server.cpp, select this and add it to zip. Okay, the server is now ready, and let's go back. We will have to modify the server name because we already have something there. So we will just add one Windows server and upload it. Server, just drag this and it's starting upload. So that is what is required. I will just it will take 2 hours. Okay, so we will just add the build and come back here when it gets back on the standby port. So that should not be a very long time, but it should be 5 minutes, I believe, from now. Okay, the server got uploaded and everything else, as we already know, is correct. We will just add the build. And now we have this ID again, a new ID. So we will just copy this, go back to the automation section and revisions, and replace this build ID with the new ID that we have already got, and just save it as a revision 4 so that we have that. And we can now remove this initialized one, that is the tutorial 1, because we already have a new deploying part. This took more like 3 minutes last time, so I am expecting this to be very low. Let's just wait and check. Okay, so the servers are again up. Let's check if any sub matchmaking session has been created during the testing phase. Yeah, expected it to come up to be no, but let's add start a standalone. What I'm saying is standalone game. Log in with EOS. Hope I just hope this comes up. Thing comes up here as of now. Let's find a session, and now I expect something to come up. Server not found. Response okay. Function name request servers, and server starts request success. Now let's check the Playfab website. No server till now comes up. Some issues, I believe, because the server gets started successfully. Both of them are active. So servers are running, but they are not starting the session. So for like checking with this, we can just can we just let's just close the server. We can just shut down this. Before that, let's close this. We shut down the server, and we will also just copy this IP4 ID and make an open statement. Let's check if the session is even up. Third person map. Nope, something is not correct. Something is crashing up. So welcome back to the screen after 4 days. Yep, there was a small error due to which I had to spend a lot of time working on it and solving it. But finally, we solved the problem. So the problem was, let me just show you the Playfab log. It's here. So Playfab was not able to like contact the Epic Games API, and that's why sessions were not getting created. So that can be solved by a small thing. Let's go here. Now in your package, whatever the server package you have made, just go to the Windows server and remove this now and paste the certificate that we have provided in the description. So basically we now require certificates to be pasted here, and go to the EOS tutorial, uh, binaries Win64, and paste them here also. And then we also need to run a few commands. Now this was replied on the official Playfab forums, so we just need to make a small command. So let's create a new text document and name this uh, start server dot cmd, and we can just edit it with code and paste the provided thing here. Now this my game server will be replaced by your EOS tutorial server. So just copy that and paste this here and save. So all are in the root folders. So that's why we have pasted everything here. Now if I will run this start server dot command, so as you can see, okay, so just ignore that error. But if you see, we have this thing saying that yeah, we installed everything for you. So this is now the updated server binary. This should work now. Let's go back and zip it up. So we have the server here. Now let's add a new build and name this EOS tutorial 3. 4 cores, 2 machines, Windows, and let's upload the server. Now, okay, so asset already exists. Can I delete that? No. I can just rename this and put it here. So now the start command will be a little bit different. And, oops, we made a small mistake. Please stop this. This auth type and this also needed to be passed along with the port. So let's get back to our EOS tutorial binaries Win64. Right click this, uh, open with code, and we need to pass along with the log thing. We also need to pass the auth type and the different codes. And now save this. And till the time it's getting packed, let's yeah, let's go to EOS tutorial binaries Win64, and the path is already correct, I believe. Win64, the only thing is now we need to copy this, and this is the thing that now needs to run. So we can just remove all the other things and start server.command. Again, east US, 2 servers, 1 standby, port name, game port 7777. Remember, game port should be game port. Again, I will let you know, 7777, game port 2, and TCP. Let's go back and check. So I will be back. Hopefully this should be done very soon. So the server is now ready. Let's just put it out. Server, and zip goes here. Okay, so the servers are on standby and hopefully this will work properly. Let's go to our, oh, one more thing. Before that, let's go to details, copy the build ID, go to automation, revisions, and just replace this and save as revision. And now, oops, my everything would got leaked. And now we can play as a standalone game. I have also changed the online default artifact to client now. Yeah, after uploading I have done that, so don't worry for that. So now let's log in with EOS. I will have to like put the password, sorry. Okay. The login is successful. Please come up, bro. Okay, login complete. Login with Playfab also complete. So login using Playfab, and now I will press on find session. Server request sent. Server start request success. Server not found. Server request successful. And let's check the Playfab website if the server has started. Which one is it? Yeah, deployed servers, and the servers have started. Now we are making a lot of requests every second, so that's why maybe it's not able to like start multiple servers. But Okay, so as you can see, we are running it successfully. We have two servers and two sessions with open slots 10. Now we will have to make a system that it does not run again and again in the same call, because we already have two servers active and these are available here also. But I don't know why this is not finding a session, valid session. Uh, let's close this and check the code for our server. So we have a delay of 3 seconds, and then we send this find session and join. Let's open up Rider and check game instance, find session and join. Hmm. Okay, let's remove this server required broadcast from here, because when it was not successful, finding was not successful, then we won't have it. We will only have it when server was found. Rest, I cannot see any mistake here, but let's remove this number is greater than 0, and just let's get the first entity and check if it is valid. Hmm. Next, what we can do is let's go back. Let's close this first and now run, because as we can see the servers are running successfully, so that should not be a problem. And here we will increase this limit to 10 seconds, and rest everything looks good. We do not need to do anything else. Let's just hope it joins now. Hmm. Hmm. Let's play. Log in with the US. I logged in successfully. I will, okay, log in with this also find session. Okay, so it's not able to find the session on the website. That's the reason. Okay, let's check why is it not able to find a session. Let's go to the find session engine. We have the search lobby is equal to false. Okay, so I think we have a break. So as you can see, it says error length 2, and I just made a length thing. So just to check if what number of servers we have, and I made an error to print the length, and it printed it correctly. It says we have two servers up, but then it says server not found, and that goes in the case of search result dot zero is valid. So I believe due to some reasons, uh, because the owner ID of this is not valid, this is not able to check the length of it correctly. So is valid is not something that is giving us a good result. So what we can make is we can just check if normal length is greater than 0, then just do this, and let's hope this works. So I'm really happy. Just the owning ID of the server is not valid because that is a dedicated server and does not have a user account. So that is most probably the case, but let's hope it works now. And yeah, login was successful. Please, please, please work, please, bro. Find session. Okay, it did work. It did work. Something length. Okay, so the length got corrected. Join address also came out to be correct. Let's copy this, and but due to some reason the connection timed out. This is the remote URL, no packets received, and it's even not getting the correct map. Let's check the browse setting, maps and nodes. So the main session map is set correctly here. Then let's check the class defaults, main session map, that is also correct here. Let's check the Playfab website if everything is correct there also. So let's reload. So we have two servers, and this is on the port 30200, and one is on the port 30,000. Okay, so I believe I got the reason. Let's just check one thing. If I make it open, the what was the server again? This is the join address, right? So if I edit this, and make it 3000, uh, is it 3000? Sorry, 30,000. What I'm doing, bro? Okay, let me just try again. Uh, and I go join the server. Uh, so b- so as you can see, this everything is working correctly. But the only thing is the port information was not correct from EOS sides. So that is something that we will have to see for port info. Port info is not something that we are getting right. Mm, Port info. Okay, so now we have came back to another error. So as you already saw, we can now connect, but the port info is something that we need to look into. So I just now got this port info that is passed on by Epic Games is wrong. So Epic Games assumes that the port is running on 7777, but that is not correct because Playfab will provide you a custom port info. For instance, here we have the custom port info to be 30,000. So what we need to do is we need to pass this port info as an attribute to the server. So the Playfab will have an information that we have an updated server port info. So for that, what we need to do is we need to go back to Playfab, and we have this GSTK utils. So if you don't know how to open that, just go to your code and you have this set default server host port code. So just double click it and it will open up the code for this. So if you see here, they have a UE log where they take the server listening port and the client listening port. So the client connection port is the port where the client would be connecting to. So this is what we need to use for our EOS game. Now how do we how do we get that? So what we can do is we will make a custom function here. Let's open up the .h file for this. .h. Can we directly get the port info? Any function for that? We have this get game server connection info. Let's get game server connection info. We game it as well as and break. So we have this port info. Uh, so yeah, we get the client. So when we have this, we can directly take this up. So in this session creation node on the server, let's go back here. Where is it? This create EOS session. We will have to pass in this game server connection. So let's double click this create EOS session, and we will have to add a new attribute for this. So adding an attribute is also easy, so we can just add an attribute. I will just open up my second screen and open up the code for this because I have forgot what to do here. Okay, so let's go to the .h file, and on the creation node create EOS session here, and here we will create a new f string, or maybe we can just make it a what is it, integer. Let's make it int32 server port, and then let's copy this up from the comma. Let's go to this function and paste it here. So now we have the port info here also available. Then we will add we will get this session creation info dot settings, and we will add. Okay, so I got this up here, and we can make a dot. So we have this f name where we have the session setting, we can just name this port info, and in this text, the setting value, we will pass in the custom port. Now the custom port is this one, port where we have this. Where is it, bro? Where is it? Yeah, this server port. So we can just remove this part, remove the text, and we can pass the server port here. Now I think it requires some conversion. Can we directly cite it? Let's make it int64, and same way here also, let's make it int64. Okay, looks like we can directly pass it. And let's copy this up. Hopefully this will work. Hopefully. And now let's build, and we can just take this up here, and we can pass in the port info here. So now we will have the port info, and now in the finding session and joining logic, we will have to go to back to the this function where we join. On join session completed, we have this get join address. We will have to get the join address from this session pointer reference. Session pointer reference. Nope. So we will have to go to online session search, then the search results, then the zeroth, then we will have to get the session info. We have this session settings, and we will have to get a value. Now this value name is, as you already know, where is it, on create and create session, we have this port info. So we will just copy this thing up and pass it here. And the second is the int32 number. Now this should not be an int32 number, because as far as I remember, this is so confusing, bro. Let's make a new variable here, int64 port info, and let's try to get the port info here. Okay, this works. So this will get the port info. Let's make a UE log and print the port. And in the join session complete logic, we will edit the join address. So we will have to edit the join address to remove the part after the IP. So now what we can do is we will make an f string here and make it equal to the IP, and then we will have to like break the current join address into the IP and the port info. So let's do that. So I got an easier method for this. So what we can do is we can just make a t array method, and we can pass this. So we have this IP address, and then we have this join address. So what it does is basically we have an IP port array, and we just convert, like we just get this text and we break it into the two parts, and the first part is taken here. So now let's make a print for this. IP info is uh, IP address. And now we will have to again add a custom IP address. So we will say f string new custom IP, and we will get the IP address, and we will add this, and then we will get an f string from int, and we will pass in the port info. And after this is done, we will just again make this thing, and we will say custom IP info, and we will use the new custom ID, and we will use this new custom IP for now joining and pass this. Hopefully everything works like it, man. But it just works, hopefully. Let's save all, close this up, and restart. So if you notice, we have this so uh, in custom attributes only int64 is supported, and this is something that not expected to get. uh Maybe I can just make an int32 local variable and check if this local variable can pass the build check. Yeah, it can. Now if I try Okay. I make it port info is equal to local variable, and I pass the local info local variable here, and now I try to get the build. Yeah, it works. So hopefully everything just goes on correctly. And just for the testing purposes, let's log in and check what, although this will not get the properties correctly, but I just want to check if the conversion is correct or not. Man, this video has just been so long for me. Now I press find session, port 504. I will be back in a second. So although I know that won't join, but IP info is 2, uh, length is 2, that's correct. Let me just open up the code and check again. Hmm. So it says port 2. So the server does not have any port info as of now. So I expect this to be wrong. 504, I believe it's the error 504 or something like that, because we do not have any port info, something like that for now. So let's hope this works. We can just hope. I will pack the server now. Oh, before that, let's go to the project settings, online subsystem EOS, and server artifact. And let's pack this. Create a new version because I have to copy the other files. Version 2, select folder. And this should not take up a lot of time. Let's just copy this. We have to copy this folder, this, and anything else. No, we made a custom command file. Got deleted. So okay, looks like a file got deleted, but no worries, we will just copy this. And before that, let's go to the Playfab website, and go to multiplayer and delete the build. Same way here, let's delete the build. And now we can just copy these files, go to the packaging again, version 2, paste them here, and paste them here. Let's go to, oh, okay. We have the server command here. Sorry, I forgot that I put it in the, and we pasted the server command here. So that is done, I believe. Let's open with Xcode and check. Yeah, that works. So let's pack this now. Hopefully things will go well. I will now deploy this and get back, as you already know how to deploy it, so I don't think that should be should again. Okay, so the server is now up. Let's again just quickly copy this up. Oh, okay. So currently only one server is up, so I believe it. That's why it's okay deployed. Okay. So let's go to the revisions and just paste the updated ID and deploy it. Go to the game, new game. Please start successfully. Don't give me an heart attack. Log in with EOS. I will also open up the matchmaking website. Currently there is one session. Let me just update this. Yeah, log in with EOS. Logged in. And now I will find a session. Nope, it does not get that correctly. The port info is wrong. The port should be, let's go to auto multiplayer here and check the port info. So 100% the port info is wrong already. And the server has not yet started. Hey, so which server is this talking of, bro? Something is wrong here. Let us wait for the removal of the session. I believe it's some old session that has been removed, but yeah, I will be back in a second. Okay, so hopefully we have got the thing. So in this search keywords, if we see, we have two sessions and they have the port info, so that works. Uh, so some this that is working, but I don't know if we are able to get that. Let's again find session. So just exit this and restart. Maybe that is the issue. So we are not able to get the port info correctly, although the website says invalid user. Okay. Although the website says that we have logged in successfully, and I don't know why we have two sessions. Although, okay, so we have two sessions. That's why. Okay, and this port info is 3,000. Sorry, 30,000. Continue to that, but and find session. So the port is not something that we are getting correctly. Let's check the code. Uh, let's make a UE log and check the port directly. And also, this should be normal. Hmm. And what else we can do for getting the port info? because as far as I can see, we are getting the correct port info. Let's try again. File. Now let's log in. So I hope this time this usually should work. If it's an INT32 problem, that is the port, we are getting a wrong port, then that should work. But yep, find session. This time also this gets the port 0. Let's go back to multiplayer. We have two active servers. Okay. We have two sessions also. And both have the correct port info. Okay, so welcome back to the screen. Ah, man, just this thing has just taken my whole mind over. But anyways, some progress made is good progress. So let's now fix the code. So now I found out the port thing after spending just hours trying to get the port from the website. I finally got how to get the port. Now this thing is not, I think, like, this is not what I thought to be an ideal solution, but I this works, just works, and that's why I'm doing this method. So we will just make an F string here, and this would be local port info, and this will get the online session search. What was that, bro? Oh, so as you can see, this was the code that I wrote, but that did not work. So redo backspace, redo typing. Yeah. So here we will write mm, online session search, and then we will get the search results. Then we will get the zeroth result. Again the session, then session settings, then again settings, and then we will just find. Now we will find an fname property, and this should be a text thing, and this should be port info, because as you remember, we inserted the value with the name port info, so you can just directly copy this. And what is this? Okay, just write port info here, and then what you need to do is after port info, uh, we will convert this to string, and end here. Something is not correct, I believe. If name, this is correct, text is correct, info. Oh, f name should end over here, I think. Yeah, now this is correct. String, and okay, done. So after this is done, so we will have the local port info, but this local port info will print out something like this. I don't know if the no the log is closed, but this will print out a port, then the text, and then something else. So we just need the port number. So for that we will make a t array. Sorry, I know this video is getting a bit longer, but believe me, the end result is something worth it. And we will name this parts, and then we will make local port info dot parse into array, and we will make it parts text. So what we are doing is, wherever we have a space in between, we will just break through them, and we will make it curl empty true. Now we will check if the now we will extract the port info from the second part. So we will get the parts dot num is greater than equal to 2. If that is true, then we will make it f string port info. Oh, do we have a port variable here? Yeah, port info variable. So we will save it into that, but for now we can make it text port info, and we will get the first element from the port info. And after that we get the port info variable, and we set it equal to fcs string atoi, and we will get the text port info. Done. So now this port info will have the correct value. And now on join session complete, as we already did, we we will get the join address. We will pass into int, break it from the point, break it into the two, so that we remove the older ip address, and we will get the ip, the current ip, that is the newer ip. And in the new ip we will add the part info and set the custom info ip to be the newer ip. So when that is done, let's restart. Hopefully this time it will work. Let's play. Servers are up, I believe. Yeah, both the servers are up. So let's log in with EOS. Login. Login successful. Now I find session. Something is wrong. It did not get the correct port info again. Man, this is just so tiring. Anyways, we will check for that now. Let's go back here, and we can make we can just make a UE log temp warning text port text port info. Done. Let's make it pointer reference, and we will also do one thing. We will also just copy this and paste it, and we will also print this. So let's copy this, and let's check now. Log in with EOS. Continue to app and allow. Okay, login successful. Find session. So you can see it gives us a port, local port info 3000. Don't advertise. Okay, and it took the port to this, but local port info 3000. Uh-huh. There should be a direct method to get the value of the port. Let's try this. So now we are taking out the data and then just converting it to string. Hopefully this will work. If this doesn't work, then I will have to again pause and try another method. Find session. Oh, it works. Now it gives us the direct port info that is 3000. So finally we have a solution for that. So let's close this and just, so we do not need to convert it into parts now. So we directly get the variable itself, that is the local port info, and we will just copy this and paste it here and make it a big variable, that is local port info. And now this local port info will go on this joining thing, and here where we converted the port info from f string, we will just add the local port info, that is this variable local port info. Rest we do not need, we can remove this part for now, we do not need this printing thing, and rest is correct. And new custom IP, yeah, everything is correct. Hopefully now things will work good. So let's play and log in with us. I allowed. Find session. Port correct. Game port correct. And we have joined the session. Congrats. After 10 days of hard work, we are finally into the session now. And let's check what EOS saying. I don't think it will detect me as a player, but I also have a hard feeling that it can. So as you already know, we have already made the gameplay logic. So you will have to just check, and yeah, it did not detect me as a valid player, but you already know how to fix that. We have done that in the dedicated server video. And also when you search for sessions, although we put the search keywords like this, but do not put this sign in between. That's why it doesn't show the sessions a lot of times. And now we have joined the session, so that's something good. Now if you just want clearance on how to like show update the value on the server, then you can just go to third person maps and main session map and write the logic in the session, this session game mode. But as you already saw, we finally joined using Playfab, and if there was no session, then Playfab will create new sessions for you. So that is it. Also if you do not know how to close the session, because I believe you would not have the watched our Playfab video, so just watch this Playfab issues and solutions video, and we have a lot more dedicated videos on Playfab already. So if you are finding some problem in the dedicated servers, you can watch them also, but I don't think you will get a lot of problems. Or else we have free support over Discord, we have even paid consultation also. So we provide both type of things. If you are indie developer, we are open to help you out with your problems for free also. So don't worry for that, you can just hit us on Discord and we would be there to help you. Or else you can book a consultation from our website, and support us on Patreon and subscribe if you can. And thanks a lot, man. Like, just 10 days of work comes to an end finally. I'm just so happy at this point. So thank you. Thanks for watching.